Good morning, flowers. I'm hopping on here today to talk to you all about a proper downward facing dog. So this is a pose that you see a lot, maybe even used in beginner classes. However, it really isn't much of a beginner pose, but there are some steps that you can take to get yourself into the proper place and meet your body where it's at. So first we're going to start in tabletop. And I always like to tell people to make sure the joints are stacked here. So you want the shoulders in line with the wrist and the hips in line with the knees. Sometimes knees a little farther back is more comfortable for people, and I say that that's okay. Another thing here, I have some hyperextension in my elbows, as you can see, so I have to kind of keep a little micro bend, and we want the little eyes of the elbows to be facing each other. So instead of pressing forward here with the elbow crease, we're going to turn them in toward one another. So with fingers spread wide, we'll press them out away, making sure that the upper back is slightly domed so that you're using the muscles in the back and the shoulders. And then go ahead and peek between your knees and make sure you can't see your feet, adjusting if you need to so that knees and ankles are in one long line of energy. So once you're here, slide to the very tips of your toes and take an inhale. As you exhale, press the hips back toward the heels. Again, grounding the hands into the mat, trying to keep them where they are. On another inhale, release shoulders down the back, and as you exhale, gently lift the hips and press the heart toward the thighs. Try to make sure here, once you peek at your feet, that they're still parallel. And notice how I have a bend in my knees, because it's a little early and I really want to press my heart toward my thighs. So in order for me to do that, because my hamstrings are not quite warmed up yet, I'm going to just bend my knees slightly. So once you get there, here's a tip. If you feel like your downward dog is short, it probably is. So while a lot of times we instruct people to go directly from tabletop into downward facing dog, that's completely fine. But once we get there, we might have to make some micro adjustments depending on someone's anatomy. So if you feel like you need to step your feet back slightly, that's okay. The only place that we don't want to be is in the place that I call no man's land, because it's not plank and it's not downward dog. And I'll show you what that looks like. This is what I see a lot. This right here. And we're kind of like halfway plank, halfway down dog, and a lot of times this is because people really want to straighten here, but they don't have the hamstring flexibility. So in order for them to straighten the legs, they have to arch the back and roll forward. So plank happens here and down dog happens here. This is the no man's land I'm speaking of. So this is where we do not want to be. Again, bending the knees and pressing the heart through is going to keep the spine long, and that's the optimal place to be. So it's more important that the heart reaches toward the thighs than that your heels touch the ground. Now eventually the full pose can look like this if you find that hamstring flexibility. But all bodies are different, so just be patient with your process. And remember that you're on a journey. That's your own. It's no one else's. And we're here to help guide you. Message us if you have questions. Thanks for your time.